So to review this question about reading oscilloscope, it is possible to set up an oscilloscope. So we've got this oscilloscope here, black wires are just like a voltmeter across the bulb, and the two green wires going to DC. When we see that display, you can change this red dial to change the Y position, and this red one, yeah, it's not quite what it's meant to do, but that's alright. It allows you to change the amount of waves. You can clearly see that that's not DC, even though it clearly is plugged into DC. If we were to plug it into AC, you can see the waveform doesn't look very different, and so that's why these power supplies are so rubbish. And so if you plug it into DC, you're definitely not getting a smoothed DC output, and so that's a good learning kind of curve. And you can look at the number of spaces across is meant to be 1 millisecond every box, and every vertical is meant to be 0.5 of a volt, and you can do all that kind of reading. What I've got is I've got two wires then plugged onto there, about to go into a capacitor, and so if I show you that, and with this we should get really good DC smoothing, which is basically what we get. We get this beautiful DC line, and as we change the voltage, we change that DC, and it is pretty smooth there. Those bumps have turned into smooths, and if I take off the capacitor, it goes back. And so all I needed to do was put a capacitor on the inside of our power supplies to get way better DC voltage. But there we go, an interesting learning curve for the F13s.